Thanks, Swami. You've clearly set the context and we'll get going. Good evening, everyone. It's an absolute honor to welcome you all to this very special evening, an evening with the legend, a celebration of excellence, rhythm, wisdom, and legacy. We're deeply privileged to have with us one of India's richest, I think, cultural treasures, Dr. UK Sivaraman, Padma Vibhushan awardee and Mridangam maestro. He turns 90 this year, as you would have heard. His life, in some ways, is a living testament to mastery, to reinvention, and intergenerational impact as well. Joining him on stage are two very remarkable voices. D. Shivakumar, who's a dear friend and a veteran business leader and author. Ishaan Ghosh, an immensely talented tabla player representing the new generation of Indian classical music. Together, we will explore three themes: personal mastery, tradition and change, and building a legacy. We look for leadership lessons that transcend, in some ways, disciplines from stage to boardroom. But this evening is not just about the panel. It is about a conversation that we hope to build together. And we'll be coming to you, the audience, after each segment for any questions that you might have. So keep your thoughts brewing and make a mental note as this conversation rolls on. There are hand mics, I think, going around. We'll just raise your hand when the time comes. We've also had, as Swami had mentioned, a lot of requests for a performance from Dr. Sivaraman. So you'd be happy to know that he's kindly accepted and he will play. He will play solo and team up with Ishaan after this conversation. So we're saving that for the last. So let's begin. I wanted to start with the foundation, which is around personal mastery. All three of you, in your own ways, have pursued excellence with remarkable discipline, right? Whether it's the relentless riyaz of a classical musician or the strategic intensity of a business leader, right? Each of you have embraced mastery not just as a skill, but also as a mindset, right? So I wanted to start with you, Dr. Sivaraman, if I may. I wanted to go back in the past, and if you could recall or remember the moment you fell in love with the mridangam, and what keeps the spark alive even today?
Good evening to everybody. I'm so happy and very thankful to Mr. Indrajit Gupta and my son Swaminathan for having arranged this wonderful meeting where I'm really seeing the cream of Bombay. I'm also very happy Mr. Shivakumar is there and the new generation wave, Ishaan is there. In my life, I have finished by the grace of the Almighty, or we can call, if it's going to be an atheist, the cosmic energy. I have finished 80 years of my musical career and entering the 81st year. I have faced many audiences throughout the globe, and today this meeting is something that will be etched in my mind forever, ever, and ever. The thing is, my son reinvented me because I was only going through the voyage without looking back. For the simple reason, my father told me, all the prices that are being heaped on you, let it not go to your head. Whether it is Padma Shri or Padma Bhushan or Padma Vibhushan. Why I'm telling you, when he got Padma Shri long back, my father was staying in my sister's residence in Nungambakkam in Chennai. I got the telegram at 3 o'clock from the government. And then I woke up my father at 5 o'clock and used to call him as Mama. I told Mama, I got this because of your blessings and God's blessings, so I wanted to inform you. He said, oh, Sivaraman, I'm happy, it's all God's will. Don't think about it, work further. And he put down the phone. That is my father. And why I'm telling you how I came up this way is, I think I have a preamble I think I would like to read so that you can really enjoy. This is the outline on which I have really worked my life. My cardinal principles or ideas that helped me or catapulted me to success in my life and artistic career. One is my chief mentor, my father. Number two, other mentors, my four gurus. Arabadi Nadeshiyar, they are all my gurus. Arabadi Nadeshiyar, Tanjar Vaidyanadiyar, Palgad Paniyar, and Kumbakonam Rangoyingar. And other several leaders in the profession who were very senior to me. My association only to be with a lot of intelligent seniors, and this advice was given to me by my father. When I was barely 15, I think my father told me that you should only move with 40 or 45 years old people so that they will say what to do and what not to do. So I was only, even in my age, I was only moving with only elders. So that was the greatest advice, and I really benefited so much from them. The other one, the strong will to excel. I'm only telling about my life. The strong will to excel others and to have the qualifications to achieve this quality to clinch excellence. The next is the strong urge in me to win at all contests. And I may say, in the positive sense, the killer spirit in me. Next, to the lessons I got from the famous newspaper, New York Times, in 1962, I'll tell you. That was the first time, I think I was 27, when I went to US at the invitation of Asia Society. Then I stayed in Hotel Skylar in New York. That was the first time that I saw New York Times. And when I went through the quotable quotes, that one, it caught my mind. It said, when you go up in the ladder of fame and name, remember that you are crossing so many people of fame and name. Have a smile on them if there is a fall, so that they may protect you. So, this is the greatest thing that I have learned in 1962, which even today I am following. Then, I am a great devotee of Mahakavi Kalidasa. He said in one of his greatest works, Malavikagina Midram, when he introduced prologue and epilogue. He said, when he was criticized for introducing epilogue and prologue, he said, Puranamityeva na sadhu sarvam na chapi kavyam navamitya avadyam. The meaning is, he said, don't think that everything old is good. Don't criticize that everything new is bad. People with wisdom will always select the best from the old and best from the new. That is the motto I follow. When I introduced fiberglass Mridangam, I said the same thing. When I introduced that fiberglass Mridangam, I did with IIT, Chennai, when Dr. Pandalai was a director. And when he introduced glass Mridangam, along with the collaboration of Sen Govind, and presented to the audience, and also asked my fellow artists to play on the Mridangam, to convince the people that it has got the same tonal quality of wooden Mridangam, I also quoted this. Why I'm telling you, when Mahakavi Kalidas says all these things, that has gone into my mind so, I also insist, I am a deeply rooted person in tradition, and I'm also ultra-modern. That is one of the reasons, when several decades back, when I was asked to present a music program or for a fashion show by Satyapal, I did not know what to do because I have not seen anything. You know what I did? Satyapal son said, "Sir, you are doing it. I am leaving for Delhi," and the date he has given me. From that day, I have been watching TV about the fashion show because I was new to that. Later on, in my life, I don't take anything like challenge. Any challenge I always take as an opportunity for me to work hard. I have no negative sense. I'm a positive man. That is why at the age of 90, when Indrajit Gupta called me and my son told me, I'm here. So when I'm going to be 100, if you call me, I'll come. So I composed the music, and it was presented in 3 metros. One is Bombay, now in Mumbai, Chennai, and in Bangalore. In Bangalore, what happened? The girls exceeded the time, and the manager went to them, why? Asked them why. They said, the music is beautiful. You know how I got dressed up there? I was in kurta with the vibhuti, kungumam, and everything. A scribe came and asked me, how is it that you are in your traditional dress and composing for fashion show? My only answer is, only a traditional man can compose. So, I am relevant today. The next is my own creative ideas from time to time. I have my own aphorisms, which I always follow. This I got from my own experience and from others. My aphorism is, nobody is a full stop. Everybody is but a comma or a semicolon. If this is going to be there, anybody can beat me. And anybody is going to beat me, I will be only the happiest man. This I have in my life. You can take pride in what you do. But the pride should never go to the region of ego. Ego, egoism, egocentric, etc. The next in my life is, if you are an average person, you do not get any leverage. You should be above average and extraordinary. Then when you can come up. Being an economic student, in programs I know the law of supply and demand, and also the law of increasing and diminishing returns. That is why I have reduced my concert now. I'm explaining to you what is sadhaka and what is sadhana. All these things you cannot, we can discuss later. This is only a preamble. In order to achieve sadhana, you have to have hard work, sincerity, passion to work, the will to win, and respect and regard for others' great qualities and work, and the mind to remain as a student forever to learn every lot of things of beginning from A to Z in matters of music, melody, everything. Very important thing is, as in a relay race, when everybody is running, my idea is always that you should be the first to touch the ribbon or the winning stick. When you turn back, you will have hundreds of people running. But what you have to do is, you have to achieve the great things so that you will be a trendsetter, icon, game changer, and all that in life. To that, you have to really work hard. Even today, I am practicing. I am doing everything. I am doing homework. When I took up this job, I did the homework. Next, I have learned from the 4 gurus. But the thing is, there is a Tamil saying, Guru Mechiya Chishyan. I think you have to really beat your guru and get the blessings of the guru, that this Shishya is really extraordinary. I'll tell you one thing. Tyagaraja, he sang before his guru, Sunti Ramanaya. Dorakuna Ituvanti Seva. The meaning is, the seva, the service I do to my guru is something great. And he really sang that kriti. At the end of the kriti, the guru stood up and blessed. Tyagaraja said, Dorakuna Ituvanti Sishyudu. Can I get a disciple like you? So, why I'm telling you, you have to get the blessings, and then you have to really beat the guru by making a bani. That bani I created known as Umayalpuram bani. I can read out one thing to you. This is a question answer that appeared in the book Musical Excellence Mridangam by me, Sivaraman, Ramaswamy, and Naresh. In this one question, I am quoting all these things which I told to the paper. One of my 4 gurus is the great Palagad Maniyar. He has trained many students. To him, some were more special than others. He recommended some to take other means of living and music as one of their endeavors. In my case, he recommended some. In my case, in spite of having known me as one qualified for the practice of law, I qualified for law in 1958. Then, that is BL. Then I studied ML for 1 year, international law. Then I had a small stint for IAS. But at the same time I was praying. So, in spite of having known me as one qualified for the practice of law, my guru felt that the purpose of my creation was to play mridangam. He seems to have told one of his senior-most disciples, Shangotai Sri Rajamani Iyer, that I should excel in some areas of mridangam, even beyond all in the domain. He has been quoted by Sri Rajamani Iyer with reference to me as, in the art of mridangam, Sivaraman would definitely enjoy an incomparable and supreme stature. In some phase of time, there will be none to excel him in the art of Mridangam. That was his prediction. Why I'm telling you, I know all about these great qualities of my guru's blessings to me when they were not alive. When I met several admirers of my gurus, they told me that this is a statement of your guru, like that. So, in conclusion, what I really want to convey with you is, I have created my body and I have given Vidyadana to several hundreds of disciples in the globe. If somebody is going to defy me in the art of Mridangam and then say, I am disproving Sivaraman after studying me, then I will say, oh, he has referred to me. I am so happy. Let him beat me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was very useful to really understand your life journey. I wanted to focus a little bit on the daily discipline and then go to Shiv and to Ishaan as well to hear what they do to prepare both mentally and physically for a performance or a teaching session. What is it that you do? Can you walk us through? When you prepare for a performance, what is it that you normally do? How do you prime yourself?
When I before I go to a performance, I always check up my Mridangam and tune it for several days. Because I should be aligned to the Mridangam and Mridangam should align to me. Why I tell you, when I played for a rhythm box known as Roland Rhythm Box and gave a recording for HMERPG, they wanted that I should play. When you play against a rhythm machine, you cannot afford to commit any mistakes. Whether it is Umayalpuram Shivaraman or Palakad, the machine is going to be very correct. It is Brahmalayam. You cannot commit any mistake and you cannot afford to commit any mistake. When I accepted the recording, what I did was, I did sadhaka for 6 months with the machine. When I realized Umayalpuram Shivaraman is a machine and the machine is Umayalpuram Shivaraman, I gave the recording.
Okay.
So, you have to identify, and moreover, when you go there and prepare and perform with a musician, you must know the caliber of the musician. If his voice is mellow, what you have to do? You have to really sync with him. My father told me that you should be the first Rasika of the main artist to whom you are going to accompany. Then his music will go into your mind. Then your body will react according to the timbre of the main artist. So, yes, I got a powerful voice, then you can play. If I got mellow voice, you have to really adjust with him. And then, in some cases, like great Mahavidwans I accompanied, sometimes, they expect you to give a zip to their program. In such a case, you have to play and give a zip to them so that they will go to high heights. And the performance will be really something very great. Sometimes they will be, even from the beginning, they will be okay. In one case, I will tell you, when I accompanied K.V. Narayan Swami in Mysore, he is one of the greatest vocalists. I have accompanied him 100 times for Krishnani Begane. That day, I was playing in Mysore. I immediately thought, when the pranks of Lord Krishna is going to be there to be sung by K.V. Narayan Swami, where is the need for percussion? So I thought, I will only give the formal beats for him, so that I wanted to release him from the laya aspect. Then, after some time, Narayan Swami stopped putting the tala. Krishna ni begane baro. Then I started playing din, ta, din, ta, din, ta, din, formal beats. Then he said, he was like this, no tala. He was describing the pranks of Krishna. I was enjoying the pranks of Krishna. What happened? People were enjoying the pranks of Krishna. Then, at the end of the composition, Narayan Swami, she turned to me in the concert, Sivaraman sir, I have not enjoyed this so far. I told him I have not also too. Audience said we have not. That is the great quality of music where you have to be, see, you should become like a sandal paste where you have to be along, you have to sail along with the brilliant musician, where you should not dominate. If you dominate, it is a negative term. If you don't dominate, you will dominate. People will appreciate. See, this is the greatest quality that a percussion artist must have. He should be subservient, but the audience must say, oh, he is supreme. Because of him, it has got to great heights. The audience must say, you must not say I am great. You must say that I am great. So this is a thing.
Terrific. That's so insightful. I wanted to come to you, Shiv, if it's okay. You've kind of worked at the highest level across so many industries. What is the equivalent of riyaz and the discipline or the daily practice that's helped you stay on top?
So I'd say, IG, that all mastery, and I look at it from a business point of view, all mastery requires a blend of theory and practice. And the mistake many people I have seen make is that their theory is outdated, their practice is nil. So any mastery requires learning. Our learning typically happens in the 20s. It's like learning how to ride a bicycle. If you think learning to ride a bicycle will see you through for the next 30 years, it doesn't. So you've learned whatever you've learned in business school or engineering, whatever it is. But you need to commit yourself to higher learning all the time in terms of what's changing out there. If you don't do that, you're in serious trouble because your degree cannot take you far. That's the second thing I'd say. Next thing I'd say, which I've had the benefit of, is while you're on the learning journey to mastery, you don't recognize it. Okay? But you will get there. You will need mentors. Learning cannot happen on its own. No, you can be very bookish about learning, etc., but you need very good mentors. I'll give you a personal example since you asked for it and that was your brief. I remember when I was a brand manager, one of the things I used to pour on was ORG reports. People like Ambi, Rajesh, etc. will tell you that. ORG used to be at that point of time in the late 80s, early 90s, a Sarabhai company. Okay, I used to pour over it. Nobody could really tell me or teach me how they do it. So I called ORG one day as a brand manager and I said, who runs this panel? So they said, Mr. Bowonder. I said, sure, can I meet him? They said, yeah, sure. I went across to him. He must have spent at least, every week, 2-3 hours with me over the next 1 year to teach me the fundamentals of that. Okay, so I knew it exceedingly well by the time I finished my, riyaz with him or whatever it was. That was immense learning, which stood me in stead right through my life. Today, I can read a better ORG report than anybody in the country. I'm 100% sure of that, thanks to Mr. Bowonder. So you need, I think, mentors, and you need to have that apprenticeship with you. The challenge today, I think, in business world is that our language and vocabulary has changed to dramatic stuff in a very short period of time. Nobody has the long view. So it's like if you're a commentator commenting on a test match. A test match has 90 overs in a day. That's 540 balls. A T20 match has 240 balls. Now you look at a T20 commentary, and some of these guys are good friends of mine. One ball is a brilliant ball. In test match, it's a brilliant spell. It's not a ball. One shot is an outstanding shot, out of the world shot, etc. Whereas it's an innings which has been crafted well. So I think we have lost the long term in favor of the short term. So I would say there are various levels in which mastery has been taught to us. We are a function of our education, etc. Let's look at education. First class, second class, third class. Okay? A first class means you have more mastery on the subject than somebody else. If you're a ranker in CA, which means you have more mastery than the others, it's not necessarily true. It means that you crack the exam on that day. It does not mean that you have mastery. Mastery is a very different concept. Mastery requires much more practice all the time. Karate is another example where we have black belt, blue belt, green belt. In chefs, we have Michelin star chef. Now that is like the Padma Shri, the Padma Vibhushan, etc., which takes time. So I think we are not curating for mastery. We are curating for short-termism. We all want to get away with short-term excitement. True mastery requires enormous discipline and I think a lot of heartburn. We also celebrate the wrong type of mastery. See the debates on television. Is that mastery? The ability to insult each other? I don't think that's mastery. But we learn from it and we say, wow, that guy's trip was taken today and we're very happy with it. But that's not mastery to me. Okay? So in my book, there will be some people who will always be very gifted. You can't stop them. The Brian Laras, the Virender Sehwaks of this world. And there will always be people who will be masters like a Tendulkar who will go and grind it out in order to succeed. And I think the business world requires much more grinders today than thinking that we are gifted. That would be my submission.
Wonderful. Thank you. Ishaan, you've been hearing both of them articulate, and they're completely two different generations almost. When you hear the term mastery, what comes to mind? Is it even a goal for you, or is it something else?
Thank you, Indrajit, for having me here. And a very good evening to everybody. Pranams to sir. First of all, I must say I was really, it was like a wow moment for me when I was told that I'm supposed to be here and be on the same platform as such truly legends. And because as any other student of Indian classical music, I've grown up listening to the real mastery that Sivaraman sir has always, taught us through. So it's something really special for me. And I was, after getting here, I realized that, I didn't have anything written down because it's just going to be a very heartfelt conversation with utmost reverence. So coming back to your question, I think people like Sivaraman sir and those from the legacy that I come from are examples of the highest possible level of mastery, so to say. And talking about a goal, I think for a musician, a goal is somewhat like the horizon, because you get there and then you realize, I've not even begun. So it's a continuous, constant learning process that we go through, and it's that journey of building the connection with your art form or with your instrument or with the tradition that you come from, because being connected to the past is a very important part of our tradition because of the music that and the history that it carries along. So as a young musician and as a student, I think it's important for all of us to not just keep in mind that, okay, here we are in this modern day and age we have technology and we have this and that, which are like wonderful mediums that facilitate so many things and make things easy for us. But at the same time that we come from this, tradition which is like thousands of years old. So it's important to be connected to that. It could be through your guru, it could be through the works of the great masters before you and draw from that well of knowledge. So when it comes to, say, I mean, when you were talking about mastery, I feel, of course, I haven't thought of mastery being, a word or a goal in any sense for myself as of now. It's just this process of learning through various different mediums. One is definitely the learning the art from your guru. Second is being in the company of other great masters and artists that what Sir had talked about. And the other is to dive deep into what great masters over the generations have contributed into the art form, and then make yourself present and relevant in the times that you live in. So I think all of this put together makes you somewhat of a more aware, a more conscious artist and a human being, where you have your backbone that's strong, and at the same time you have your roots that are deep, but at the same time wings that are strong enough for you to fly. So all of these factors come together in a beautiful sense, and I think that's what I have.
Question
Yes.
on that, which is that it's often said that your generation learns differently, right? It learns through experimentation, not just repetition in some ways. How do you balance the rigor that you spoke about from the past and the lineage that you, and the innovation that you seek, or the difference that you're trying to make? I mean, is that something that is something you have to grapple with?
Well, the one thing I must make clear is that, at least for me, it's not that, okay, one fine day, I'm sitting with my instrument and here I'm going to do something different, because I think in art, or Sir could throw more light on that, it is more about, like what I said previously, building that connection with your instrument that helps you, that enables the instrument to then guide you, or your art form to guide you further and take you further. But in my own case, as I was growing up, and I have my father and guru here today present, Pandit Ishaan Ghosh, he really made it possible for me to live my learning, So it was not like a, of course, there was both of us sitting together with the tablas, and there was, exchange of information, but that was happening. But what really helped me was, he embellished that whole process with, for example, say anecdotes, stories from his life, stories from my grandfather's life, important landmark incidents, which not only inspire you, but they really, they kind of make you aware about the responsibility as a musician coming from a lineage, but again in today's times. But I tend to not think about that responsibility very seriously, because then it can be pressurizing. So, so it's again, like I said, it's a process, and being in the shadows of great masters like Sir today is again, makes you realize that there's a long, long, long way to go. So we're just here to enjoy the art and to be blessed by people like him.
Terrific. We'll open it up for questions in a bit, but before we come to the audience, maybe for a couple of questions, Dr. Sivaraman, if you were to describe what mastery feels like, right? What is it? Is it really about inner peace? Is it about pressure? Is it about flow? How would you describe it?
About mastery, I will tell you. There was a great guru for me in vocal music. His name was Kallakurichi Mahadevayar, from whom I learned music. I was in Chennai at that time in 1955. He noticed my talents and he came to me. Are you Sivaraman? With authority. I am Sivaraman. I have heard about you. I am going to sing for you. That is his command. I have to accept it. The only thing is, for 10 years, without expecting any monetary gain, he came and sang for nearly 7 to 8 hours for me. I was tired because I'm in law college. I was practicing and he will say, Bhagadwar, I will tell him, Bhagadwar, I am tired. You are not tired. I know you are not tired. That is the command. Take the mridangam, I will sing. He will be just doing some assistance to his wife in kitchen. Then he say, leave everything to my wife. I will only come to you. The only thing is that he told me, why I am singing you Sivaraman for all these things? I want you should be the greatest. That is my idea. I value more than my sons that you should be there on top of mridangam. Likewise, he sang for 10 years for me. And then, with regard to tempo, I will tell you. I will ask him, I will sing a song for you. How to really patch up the pass between one word to another. Yekambaranadam is one thing. Yekambaranadam, he can sing like that. He will say, Ye ka. Where is ye and where is ka? Then he will say, if somebody is going to sing like that, how are you going to fill up the gap? Which is only for my benefit. And then I will ask, Bhadarwal, this is a very slow piece. Why not your tempo with a fast? Yes, I will do it. Paragu in fast. I will tell him I am not able to play. Play. If somebody is going to do it, how are you going to really acquit yourself? Such a passion, when he sang all these things, when I accompanied M.D. Ramanathan, it becomes a child's play for me. And moreover, I will tell you, how to master, how to sacrifice. These are all the things, then only you can achieve greatness. In 1970, Bob Brown, who was attached to Wesleyan University, and he is a guru of John Higgins. He came and offered me professorship in Wesleyan University for continuously 4 years. I was in a fix whether I should go to US or I should stay here. So I consulted my father. My father, Mama, what to do? He is asking me. One side, the image of dollar. At that time, it was only 15 rupees. Now 87 now. Then, will you listen to me? Because he is my man, he is my guru, he is my father, he is my chief mentor. Yes, please tell Mama, I will only follow. He said two things. God will give you many things, but you have to choose. If you choose the right path, he will guide you. Then he explained to me, Sivaraman, dollar is like a ghost. Don't go to ghost. Choose the right path of staying back in India and build your career. Will you do it? I did it. Now I am successful.
Beautiful.
Why I am telling you, sometimes it comes like that. Now, a few months back, I got offers from US. Then they asked me, sir, you should come here, perform. I asked them, how many concerts? It is up to you. 3 or 4 or 1. Or you can be the chief guest for an Mridangam Arangetram. All things will be taken care of. Don't worry. We will take care of your hospitality, your sambas, rasam, everything will be there. I told them, now I am past that age. I cannot travel 18 hours or 24 hours to US. If you want to listen to me, come to India and listen to me.
Okay.
If you build up that image and fame and name, then like a honeybee, they will come to you.
Perfect.
For that, you have to achieve something really. You should be an immortal artist. You should be beyond the ages. What you have to leave your imprints on the sands of time forever, ever, ever.
Terrific. Thank you. So, I come to you, and we'll try and kind of pick up the pace a bit so that we can then open it up for a couple of questions maybe. You spoke about grinders, right? In your book, what is excellence about? Is it about consistency or is it about reinvention?
Going back to, linking this to what you asked me first, I think today's executives needs to have mastery of change as opposed to mastery of consistency. 20 years ago, executives were rewarded for being consistent, what we call a safe pair of hands. Today, that's not true. And many an Indian organization is making a mistake on that, because we make the mistake of loyalty for excellence. It's capability for excellence, not loyalty.
Fair point.
Okay, loyalty does not get you that. So if you go back to excellence as a concept, I think the first was Jacques who spoke about it in 1951 in the business context. But excellence took off in 1984. Okay, and that's the reason why I'm linking to 1984. So Peterson Waterman, who were in the West Coast office of McKinsey, this was the last project which was allocated to them. They went and did research across various companies and said, what does it take to be an excellent company? They made a deck of 200 slides to say, hey, this is what we think it is. They pitched it to two companies. The first was Siemens. Siemens, like good Germans, they said, please come, we have all the time to listen to you. So 2 days the Germans listened to them. Okay. So these guys were happy. Then second company they pitched to was my old company, PepsiCo. Okay. PepsiCo being PepsiCo, they told them we have 4 hours. Now you make up your mind. We do not have 200 slides time. So then they condensed the whole thing into the book format of the 7S strategy. Okay, that's where they came. To cut a long story short, less than 20%, I think today in 2025, of the companies which are there on that list are there today. So the point about excellence is it's an evolving thing. You have to constantly stay at the leading edge of change if you want to be excellent. What was excellent yesterday is not excellent today. Okay, to give you a cricket analogy, a straight drive and a cover drive was excellent today. Today, scooping the ball over the wicketkeeper's head is excellence. Times change. And if you're not with the change, you will die. Let me give you a real life example. I saw today and I said, man, this is a disruption. All excellence reacts to disruption. If you do not react to disruption, then you're disrupted. You're not excellent anymore. Take our retail business. You had mom and pop stores. You had modern trade, you had e-commerce. Everybody thought disruption done, excellence done, we know how to run our business. Then comes quick commerce. Now I saw Flipkart offering veggies 1 kg at 9 rupees. Okay, now everybody in the chain needs to find the next wave of business model in order to fight this guy. So that's what excellence means in today's world. The ability to be constantly on your toes in order to keep your nose ahead. The day you don't do that, you're dead in the water.
Got it. No, we might be able to take a couple of questions if there are any folks who have a burning question to ask. This is a good time. There's one hand going up. Maybe Swami can get a mic to you and keep your question as brief as possible so that we can hear more voices. Please go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, it's wonderful listening to all of you. And I have one simple question. How do you... Yeah. I'm Jayashree Nayak, and I am the program director of a project called as Titanium at IIT Bombay. And I lead that project for faculty researchers and their IPs taking to the commercialization to the market. So having said that, how do we identify mastery is the question.
Good. So mastery actually happens at many levels. And we quite often mistake mastery to be individual. Mastery is there in an institution. We never recognize it. The Hindustan Lever of the 90s was a master at distribution, was a master at small pack sachet marketing. No longer. Now, anybody who went through the ranks in Hindustan Lever in the 90s imbibed that and by definition became good. They were not masters at it, but the institution helped you do that. Okay, so there's individual mastery, there's institution mastery. Then there's what I call a support system mastery. The number of people you work with in the ecosystem who actually make you successful. If I were to give you an analogy from mobile phones, you cannot succeed in mobile phones without the operators backing you. So their mastery comes to your advantage, and hence you build new mastery. Okay, so never think of mastery as individual. It is many times team, it's many times institution, it's many times support system. And finally, for individuals and teams to be displaying mastery, you need a stage. That is the key condition. You can be brilliant. For example, you can be an outstanding marketing manager. If you're in a small company with no resources, what will you do? You can do nothing. You don't have the stage to showcase your talent. So all mastery requires a stage. And quite often, many people are not lucky enough to get that stage. Some people are lucky enough and they multiply their talent and mastery because of that stage. Some people are unlucky and don't get onto the stage.
Thanks, Shiv. For the interest of time, we'll move on to the next segment quickly, which is the whole theme of tradition and change. All three of you kind of belong to fields that are steeped in legacy. We've discussed that, but also face the pressure to evolve, right? How do you strike that balance between respecting the past and responding to the future? That's what we're going to kind of explore. Dr. Sivaraman, you've kind of collaborated with artists across jazz, Hindustani classical, and also many global genres as well. How do you stay true to the grammar of Carnatic music while engaging with such diverse styles?
It's a good question. I'll tell you. When I started as a performer on Mridangam, I only accompanied classical Carnatic musicians, both vocal and instrumental. When opportunities came to me to play for Hindustani jugalbandi, then I developed a style in order to fuse with them. That was I have already told you it is not a challenge. It's only an opportunity for me. So when I played with Pandit Ravi Shankar in Chennai, more than 48 years back, he was in Hotel Savera, and Allaraka was there. And then right there, I was introduced to Ravi Shankar. See the great sublime quality of Ravi Shankar. I was a small fellow. And then I went there, and then no rehearsal. Ravi Shankar said, with a Sivaraman, no rehearsal. And then I was there. See the versatility of Pandit Ravi Shankar in presenting the program in Centenary Hall, which was attended by people from Nellore in Andhra Pradesh to Pondicherry here, full packed. And then he said, because he knows every system of Carnatic music, Hindustani, everything, and how to present it to the public. So I played with Ravi Shankar. I have not played for Hindustani. At the time I played with him, it is for 45 minutes. Then he played with 40 minutes with Allaraka. Allaraka and me played percussion interlude 45 minutes. And Ravi Shankar, myself, and Allaraka 3 hours. Then, in my enthusiasm, I told him, sir, there are two varieties of tempos. One is arithmetical and one is geometrical percussion. Arithmetical percussion is always there in Hindustani and also in Carnatic music. What is the system that you are going to follow today? He never expected this question from me. But he laughed. And he never answered. I take care, Sivaraman, don't worry. That is the answer, and he really took care. Moreover, what I'm telling you, when I really began all these opportunities in Hindustani jugalbandi, then I entered fusion. I entered jazz. I entered rap. I entered Tadavadi kacharis. The only thing is, what is the core point which was enabling me to fuse with all systems? I thought, when you go deeper into the ocean of bliss, that is called music, there is only one common factor is there. That common factor is, you call Aditala, you call this is Teental, and that is 4/4. You call Shankarabharanam, it is only major scale, Bilawal. And when you understand the core point, that everything, there is always unity of action in music, in melody, harmony, tala, raga, and everything. When you realize all these things, and you don't have to have any rehearsal, this is what I really enjoyed with all people. Even with Akamun, where I'm there, I'm playing for 32 years in Belgium. Where when I go there, I immediately, there is no rehearsal. So what you have to do, you have to be one with the system. And the moment you go there, when you realize all these things, you play. And with abandon, you can play. That is all. So, this mastery must be established. So, I will tell you one thing. How to really adjust with the present tense. So, I will tell you one thing. The late CM Karunanidhi's daughter, Kanimori, she arranged a program for me, a fusion program in Besant Nagar beach. One side was there, cognoscenti. One side was Fisher folk. And I finished the program. And then, age group of 6 to 10, Fisher folk came to me. They called me, Tata, magnificent. And then the other group, 10 to 20 came, Uncle, superb. Then only I thought, if my music can go to these people, this is something great. So our music should go to these people, and you will have to really play and explain to them what it is. Today, if I am going to play my Pratham solo, I am going to explain to you what I am going to do. And the other thing is, you will appreciate, with my lot of experience, now I am going to play with a dynamic player of the age group of 25. When I play with this Ishaan, I will be 24. Or much earlier.
Ishaan, I have a quick question for you, and then I'll go to Shiv. When you're trying to do something new, what sort of resistance do you face from the traditionalists, if I may ask? Or is there encouragement like what you're hearing? Is this normal, or is this more the exception to the rule?
Well, I think I've definitely been very fortunate in that regard first of all, I mean, before I actually started, playing and collaborating, to have an atmosphere at home which was definitely steeped into Indian classical music, but also it gave me a base, an idea of various different forms of music and art in general, because again, I had my father as my idol, and he himself, on one hand, is a core hardcore traditionalist, but at the same time, he has collaborated and worked a lot with various and many different genres of music, percussionists, things like that. So that was always a manual for me, and I feel my whole approach of wanting to collaborate or go out there and try something new is not just for the sake of experimentation or just for the sake of doing it. It's more as it's something that I treat as a source of information and knowledge, something that can add to my own kitty and then help me filter out and enrich my own repertoire or my own thought process with that element. That is, so it's an add-in, something that adds up to the whole factor. So I think that's the whole joy of collaboration. I'll just add one small little point. Yesterday morning when I was speaking to Sir over the phone, I just blurted out that, Sir, I'm really excited for tomorrow. And he told me, no, it's not excitement, it's happiness. So I feel happiness, that nascent joy needs to be very strongly present whenever we are making art or music, because away from all of the performance or the audience or the external factor, it's about that childlike joy that you must have present in you whenever you're with your instrument and making art. So.
Super. Shiv, I'll come to you. Quick question on this segment. Can there be meaningful innovation without any form of rebellion?
Short answer, no. Because by definition, I think tradition has a tension with modernity and innovation. The more traditional you are, the less innovative you'll be. So you have to shed some element of tradition in order to be modern, in order to be innovative. Let me give you 3 good examples. One is an example of a brand having discovered tradition, which is fantastic. Everybody has a puja room, especially in the south, Chennai. I saw this example in Chennai a few years ago. There's this brand called Deepam oil, and most housewives use old oil to put it in the puja room. So here's Deepam oil. They come with a special pack of 100 ml or 200 ml to say, this is for the puja room. So suddenly you have somebody celebrating tradition and giving you a modern version, in a packaging. That's a great example. In the last 1 year, 2 examples have stuck in my head. We were doing some research on saris, a very big market in India, outstanding market in India. So we went and I was talking to young girls. Okay. So I asked them, saris outdated, Shiv. Who wants to wear saris today? I was shocked. I said, how many saris do you have? A lot of young girls, believe it or not, IG, have less than 5 saris. Shiv, my graduation sari, my marriage sari, my something else. And I asked these girls in a group, I said, how will you manage your mother-in-law? You know what she said? She will adjust to me. I don't need to adjust to her. Okay. Next, we're doing some work with young mothers on technology. So these young mothers we were talking to, they were 6 and 7-year-old girls working on smartphones, listening to music, cartoons, etc. I asked this young mother, hey, how are you doing this? This is, what happens to tradition, family, blah, blah, etc., and all that. She said, Shiv, the smartphone is my ayah. I don't need an ayah. So consumers are moving much faster than what we give them credit for. When they can find a relative and good use, they do it. So if you're not constantly managing the tension between tradition and modernity and tradition and innovation, that's a tough challenge.
Well put. So we'll, if in the interest of time, Swami, we'll quickly move on to the last segment, and we'll probably pause for some questions after that. The last segment is really about building a legacy. Building a legacy. Not just what we leave behind, but how we pass on what really matters most, right? That's how. And each of you have kind of worked in different ways to do that. Ishaan is, of course, in the early stages, through teaching, through mentoring, or simply leading by example. What does that responsibility mean to you? So, Dr. Sivaraman, I'll come to you. You've trained hundreds of students over the decades. What do you most hope to pass on to them beyond technique?
I have trained hundreds of students. I have only found out one thing. You should have to have a large base. The example I can give you is a temple tower, where in the foundation it is the width is much more. As it tapers down, you have got only small space where you have got 5 colosseums, 7 colosseums or 9 or something like that. So in order to really leave the legacy, you have to really teach several disciples. From the several disciples, probably some of them really will flourish. But this Vidyadana should always continue. So, like my guru, I have formed a principle for my disciples. Such of those people who are proposal is, why don't you give me about 10 or 15 youngsters in Tabla, Pakawaj and all that, so that I will train them for 1 year or 1.5 years. And I'll give them full training in Carnatic basis so that I will present the programs with Tabla or Pakawaj without Gadam or Ganjira in the place they can play. I put up the proposals in Nadakami long back. Came back, they say, the reply, wonderful idea. Till now, nothing materialized. Why I'm telling you, as elders, we really want to give everything and share with the youngsters. But the thing is, there are no takers. The thing is, more than the guru, they are going to Amazon, Google and all that. And they say, we have got AI, artificial intelligence. The thing is, when you are under the guru, you are really getting all the benefits. The guru will say, don't do it, I did it, I never passed. You don't do it. This is the greatest benefit that one can get from the guru. You know, this is the thing I will tell you. My disciple was the TVS Ratnam. He learned Mridanga under me. And then he wanted to present me a car. Then he told me, I am not going to give a car to you without a driver. I asked him why. Because when you drive, you will be thinking about your percussion, and you will not be concentrating on driving. Why I am telling you is, now, all the youngsters, they are brilliant, but the thing is, they want to achieve everything within a short time. Previously, our guru is there, you know. We do sadhaka and all these things. But now it is not there. Because when it is not there, what is really happening is, we are also reducing everything. We cannot help anything. You understand? So, with my recordings that I have done, Mridanga Chintamani and Mora Gorvai for 23 hours, there are certain people who are in foreign countries, they don't know Mridangam, but they are teaching Mridangam with this recording. So this is all happening. But anyway, we want to really continue the legacy to youngsters because I find a lot of youngsters are really interested in learning our art. To them, why not we teach? To them, we give life. To them, we give Vidyadana. That's all.
Terrific. Terrific. Shiv, I wanted to just pick up from there.
Legacy.
The legacy issue, but in this whole quest for growth and short-termism that I think Dr. Sivaraman hinted at, legacy often gets overlooked. So what advice would you give young leaders about building something that lasts?
Yeah. So I want to start with a wonderful story on legacy, which is Alfred Nobel woke up one morning and there was a mistake by a newspaper. They announced his death. They said Alfred Nobel is dead. But what shook him was the way they announced the death. They said, the merchant of death is no more. He looked at it and said, that cannot be my legacy. And he said, I better do something because I've had the chance to read what people have said about me behind my back. So then he instituted the Nobel Prize and said, you know what, it must be used for good purposes for society. That's how he changed. Okay. So a simple question for all of us. And I ask this of many people who work with me. What is the one word you want to be remembered by? Just one word. If you can think of that one word you want to be remembered by, then ensure that all your actions, all your behaviors fall in line with that one word. I've had the pleasure of working with more than 400 management trainees, about 500, 600 direct reports, etc. The one philosophy which has helped me, I think, so far in terms of legacy is be a giver, be a very big giver. And the biggest give a leader, whether young or old, can give is your time. It's not your money, it's nothing. If you can give your time liberally to people, you will build a great legacy. That's what I would say.
Terrific. Terrific. Thank you so much. Ishaan, I'm just going to pitch this a little forward because you're the crossover generation in some ways as well. What kind of a mentor would you like to become when the time comes? And what's that one thing from your training that you'd like to pass on, and one thing that you might want to do differently? Just think over it.
Well, that's a challenging one. I'll just go back 2 days from today. I was practicing late at night at home, and my father was there, sitting behind me. And I went on practicing for about an hour, and I don't know what I played after that 1 hour. There was some variation, some change that I did that seemed to have sparked something in him. And then he started reeling out compositions one after the other, which I had never heard in my, 22 years of training under him. And after a point, I was like, okay, please, So it was like this sudden fountain that erupted, yeah. So that reminds me of a quote that I heard from our revered and late Ustad Zakir Hussain ji, where he said that a teacher does not teach. It's the student that inspires the knowledge out of the teacher. So I think that's a very important mantra that we have, especially in our tradition, since this is a Guru Shishya Parampara and it's an oral tradition of knowledge. And I think this is the most ideal form and time-tested form of training that has, been there for so many thousands of years. So again, I cannot at any point of time think of myself as a mentor, as you said, or all I can do is once in a while I spend some time with students of my father, whom I call my Guru Bhais, and we just spend time and we share music and information. And all that I can say is that since it's a performing art form, yes, definitely you have your guru and you have all the theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge of your guru that you benefit from. But then you really have to dive into the world of music and into the world of actually practicing the art form and interacting with musicians, other greats around you, because it's all about that conversation, which at times can be a challenge. Can be a challenge, but if you treat it as a situation that you're put into and that you have to come out of it, there's something that you greatly gain from. So I think to cut it short, it's basically being in the moment, which our philosophy really talks about, and it's something that we've been listening to on Instagram Reels as well these days about all of these philosophical things. But I think our music, especially classical music, really helps you to be in that moment, to be fully conscious and aware of that very beat, that very micro beat, that matra or that moment or whatever you want to call it in your own vocabulary. So I think that will be my only humble little message that I can share with anybody.
Terrific. Yes, please.
I really agree with Mr. Shivakumar. I have been encouraging all youngsters and playing for them and see to it that they reach at the top. Why I'm doing it is as a missionary basis. I'm doing it as a mission. The status that I am enjoying today is the great people, the great artists, really, when I was young, gave me a lot of encouragement. And they really put me to acid test and saw to it that I reached the zenith of the profession because of their patronage. I thought, if they have done it for me, should I not do for the younger generation? So I began accompanying all people. I want to make them one Shammangudi or Adikudi or Shambai, like Shammangudi, something like that. Why? Because they should go and reach the top profession of these great masters. One thing my father told me is, Sivaraman, don't expect any gratitude from anybody. Do your duty, then you'll reap good results. This is the way that I'm pursuing my profession, my art career.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you. Swami, I know we're kind of really running behind time. We'd hope to close by 7 with the performance, solo and the jugalbandi with Ishaan. So if it's okay, should we kind of postpone hold back the questions, or do you want to, it's your call. Should be performance? Okay. So we'll close it with again, profound thanks to Dr. Sivaraman, to Shiv and to Ishaan. Profound, uplifting evening. We witnessed really a convergence of excellence across generation, across domains. And thank you for your presence, audience. We're hoping that we can carry forward this in the concert. You'll hear them perform, and nothing could be better way to close the evening. Thank you so much for agreeing to perform.
Oh, my enlightened audience, how did you like this session? You are happy? Yes. Good. So,
I think
we will perform.
super.